This is myself, Babita Saxena, and this is the lecture about the strain gauge and the gauge factor. This is the subject of electronic instrumentation, EX 604 of 6th semester students. So this is the video about the strain gauge. Strain gauge is a transducer which is used to measure the strain. Strain is a change in the length with respect to the original length. So this is the sensor used to measure the deformation or the any strain of an object when the force is applied. Suppose if there is a metal conductor which is stressed or compressed, then its resistance changes on account of the fact that both the length and the diameter of the conductor changes. This effect is called the piezoresistive effect. So the piezoresistive effect in the resistivity of the material changes because we apply the force, and because of that force, its diameter or its length is changes. So this is the figure of strain gauge. This is the bonded strain gauge, and this bridge is strain gauge is bonded in a bridge which is used to measure the change in resistance, like the Wheatstone bridge. Strain gauge factor, also known as the sensitivity of the strain gauge. So the sensitivity of the strain gauge is measured in the gauge factor. So gauge factor is equals to change in resistance due to the change in the length. This is the formula of gauge factor. So you have to remember this because the numerical in RGPV comes on this formula. So the initial resistance of the strain gauge is given by the R is equals to rho L upon A. So we differentiate the resistance with respect to the change in strain, with respect to change in strain. So all the parameters rho, L and A, all the parameters are changes when we apply the strain. So when we apply the strain, so there is the formula change in length. So this is the one example of the strain gauge and the gauge factor. Gauge factor is equals to del R by R, del L by L. So in this example, del R by L is given and L original length is also given. Gauge factor is also given. So we have to calculate the del L, means change in the length. Original length is already given. So this is the formula, and the stress is given is epsilon E into capital E. That is the strain. Thank you.